Rebooting Spider-Man only took 5 years following the financial flopping of Spider-Man 3. And it was going to be a very tricky step ahead. Most fans were really still attached to the Sam Raimi trilogy. Tobey Maguire himself was the Spider-Man to an entire young generation. So when Sony announced a brand new version in late 2010s, people were really unsure of this new step. But despite the controversy surrounding the reboot, the film brought a brand new take on Peter Parker, and it still has many of those generational fans today, especially for myself. What's up, everybody? My name is Nate, and on this 38th special of the Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're taking a look at one of my personal favorite movies, and that is The Amazing Spider-Man. A film that took a brand new take on the classic webhead and showed audiences a mature take on Spider-Man. And I'm really excited to break down this movie since it's one of my favorite ones and the Spider-Man I knew from my childhood. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as I take you deep dive in The Amazing Spider-Man. So playing this new Spider-Man is quite a new actor, and that's none other than Andrew Garfield. So this actor was born to play Spider-Man. So this Peter Parker, he is more sarcastic, emotional, and honestly socially confident than the previous version of Spider-Man. He feels closer to the wisecracking Spider-Man from the comics, and for many fans, Andrew Garfield became one of the best parts of the entire reboot. Compared to the Sam Raimi films, The Amazing Spider-Man feels darker and more grounded. This film leads heavily on Peter's parents, the scientific exploration, and Peter trying to discover the truth about what happened to his parents. It honestly feels like a mystery at sometimes. Now, yes, this movie retells Spider-Man's origin story. Again, and in 2012, some fans felt tired of seeing it, but to the film's credit, the movie tries to approach it a different way. This Peter is more rebellious and more isolated, and his journey feels more personal and emotional at the same time. So one of the movie's biggest strengths is the relationship between Peter and Gwen Stacy. So Gwen Stacy is played by Emma Stone, who I find a pretty great actress for playing that character, and honestly, she felt great for the role. Gwen is smart, confident, and generally likable. The chemistry between Garfield and Stone feels natural, but not because honestly, it really was. An emotional connection really helps carry the entire movie from within. And the villain this time, instead of Green Goblin or some Sinister Six villain, they decided to bring in the Lizard, aka Dr. Kurt Connors, who is played by Rufus Evans. Connors starts off as a symbiotic scientist in Oscorp trying to help people, but after experimenting on himself by trying to get a new hand, he transforms into a monstrous lizard. The character works very competently. The way he's designed, I love his design of the lizard. But some fans thought the CGI would have been pretty much better. But in my take, I appreciate how Sony was trying to put a proper lizard villain into Spider-Man films, even if it felt a bit out of hand. Now, the one thing everyone agrees on, because the action in this movie is amazing. I gotta tell you, the web slinging feels fast, electric. Spider-Man moves just like Spider-Man. The acrobats, the humor, and the first-person shot that we see after Peter makes the suit, it's just really fantastic. And not to mention, the fight scene in the school between him and Lizard, really great and iconic. I was surprised how the filmmakers came up with that. Spider-Man fighting in a high school where Peter Parker's really go-to. Gotta give credit to that. And of course, the film takes a core lesson from Spider-Man: responsibility. Peter's choices have consequences, and following the loss of his Uncle Ben becomes a monument that pushes him forward to become a hero. Even the famous line itself isn't directly said, but audiences knew exactly what. Now, I also appreciate Dennis Nearly as Captain Stacy. I mean, I like his acting, and he's a reluctant cop police chief who doesn't trust Spider-Man, but later on the end of the movie he eventually does. it's just great of these actors. Like, this is like a realistic approach of Spider-Man, not like the campiness of like the Raimi films. But don't get me wrong, I love the Sam Raimi movies, but this one feels like more grounded and personal. And for some fans, like, The Amazing Spider-Man is a bit underrated. They really love Andrew's performance, the emotional tone, and the chemistry between Peter and Gwen. For some others, the reboot happened too soon after the Raimi trilogy concluded. And because of that, the movie struggled to make comparisons. So, when The Amazing Spider-Man was released in 2012, the film was a huge hit for Sony. And over time, it really gained appreciation for Andrew Garfield's performance as Spider-Man. It has grown even bigger and larger, even still today. I still enjoy Andrew Garfield as this Spider-Man, especially how later appearances that reminds the fans how much heart he brought to the role. So in conclusion, The Amazing Spider-Man had a difficult job of rebooting an icon. While it didn't replace the Raimi trilogy for many fans, it succeeded in creating its own unique version of Spider-Man, and I enjoy that very much. It was more emotional, more valuable, and more of a modern Peter Parker. And on the road to Avengers Doomsday, that legacy still matters on. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you guys give it a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below. Do you think Andrew Garfield was overrated Spider-Man? But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I really guys hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to subscribe because this really helps out my channel and I can create more content like this every week. So, I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you next part and be good people.